All right, welcome back to the Psychology of Golf, and welcome back to Dove Canyon Country Club in Orange County. I mean, this place, when you get there, if you're lucky enough to be a guest, or maybe you're a member, it really makes you feel like you're just royalty. I mean, this clubhouse, when I got there too, it was like really empty. So I was like, man, I can walk in this door and they're really letting me do this? Oh, check out the view coming around the corner here. I mean, it's just really cool. Trabuco Canyon, California. This is kind of inland Orange County. On this particular day, it was warm, bordering on hot, maybe upper 80s in late August. But usually, I mean, that's pretty warm for there. It's usually not quite that warm. How did I get access? Well, I emailed Gabe. Thank you so much to Gabe, the staff there, for getting me back out for round 2. This is like maybe turning into an annual thing. Who knows? I'd be so lucky to be able to come back in future years. And we're going to start out with the front 9 here. As you can see, I am rating these holes. Again, fear and fun ratings for each hole. And these are all based on the first time I played the course. So I did not revise these. This was 2023 ratings, just kind of carried over to 2024. And fear rating number 1 belongs to hole number 9. Fear rating number 2 belongs to hole number 4. So look out for those. Overall, this is a really, really fun, tricky golf course that runs up against the neighborhood sometimes, runs up against the wilderness sometimes. In the area, Dove Canyon, the canyon comes right through the middle of the golf course. And the course was designed by Jack Nicklaus. So lots to offer here. I have actually more detail in my first video that I filmed from last year. So in that video, if you look up round 1, there's the little course map for each hole and a little bit more detail on why I decided which holes were the scariest and which ones were the most fun. But for this particular video, I'm going to show you how I did the second time a year later. In fact, to prepare for this round, you know, it's always, if you're trying to achieve something on the golf course, it's always good to prepare. Yeah, I mean, that sounds overly simple. But it's always good to prepare, both physically and mentally, and with a little bit of strategy in mind. So in this case, I watched my own video from a year ago because I hadn't played the course in between. I watched my own video and took a few notes, reminded myself, okay, hit it there, but don't hit it there. And if you're new to playing a course, I recommend going on. Let's say you could go on to greenskeeper.org, where they have lots of reviews of golf courses and tips, and you can go on and see like who else has played this golf course, what tips are out there, and check it out and take a couple of notes. And it's kind of like having a member with you, or at least part way with you. However, I don't recommend overdoing the note-taking because then you got too many thoughts filling your head for each hole. So I just took like a couple notes for each hole and then maybe skipped some of them. And I just wanted like one thought maybe in my head. Don't go left, or safe is on the right, or whatever it was. So again, reminded myself a little bit on each hole what my recommendations were from a year ago. And then I remembered also that I shot an 88 last year, so I was like, okay, maybe I can do a little bit better. So let's see if I did. Okay, hole number 1, par 5, straight away. You can see the mountains that surround this area. You know, there was actually a fire here, not here, but near here recently, after I played the course. And so some of those hillsides in the background are going to look a little different now than they did when I was playing this course, but I don't think it threatened directly the Dove Canyon neighborhood there. Anyway, hit a decent tee shot off the first tee box there. And I've got not every shot that I'm going to show you, but most shots, or I guess all shots around the green will be shown today. That was a pretty good chip, leaving me a par putt. Pretty good by my standards, but really good would have been leaving me less stress for this putt. And I missed it. All right, start out with a bogey. Fear 18, by the way, on the first hole, meaning that's the least scary hole on the golf course. And the second least scary hole on the golf course is hole number 2. Why do I say that? Well, the first 2 holes, pretty wide open. This is a birdie putt that I had on the second hole. And by the way, okay, so I'm getting to the green at the second hole here, and there's just nobody around. So I was trying to remind myself at this point, like, okay, just take your time. And I wasn't playing with anyone on this day. There was nobody in front of me. There was nobody behind me. It was really quite an experience, actually. And I remembered it being similar last time I was at Dove Canyon, except I was playing with a buddy that day. So I'm taking my time setting up or lining up the par putt here, trying to make my first par of the day. And just trying to take in the scene too, Just trying to enjoy the relaxed pace. And I drained the 2-putt there. Okay, so did make par. And I've got another green in regulation on hole number 3. Hole number 3, handicap 3 for the distance, 446 yards from where I'm playing on this day. But fear 18 and fear 15 and fun 18. For me, this hole didn't stand out. So the first 3 holes for me did not stand out in terms of challenge. And also not really in terms of fun either. So it's kind of a scoring opportunity. It's just that some of the holes, as you get on toward the back 9, just have so much variety. So they took the most fun holes for me are on the back 9, a couple of them. Meanwhile, made my second straight par. I'll take it. And we've got a par 3. Now this one, I said this one's fear rating 2. Why? Because you've got Dove Canyon right in front of the green, in between the tee box and the green, and you've got a big bunker in between the canyon and the green as well. So the safe side here is clearly to the right, which is where I went. Fun rating 4, just because it's a nice scene there, good visual. Here, there's like a guy doing running the weed eater behind me, and he actually stopped running it, like to do me a favor. And I told him, I said, no, it's okay. You can keep making the noise. And he seemed to appreciate that. So I was doing a little bit of a good deed there to let him, finish his work about 2 minutes earlier than he would have otherwise. So let's see if that good deed will pay off in an up and down for par. I think he was a little surprised that I was okay with the noise, but as golfers and as a golfing psychologist, we got so much noise going on in our heads anyway. What's one more with the weed eater? And I made the par. Okay. Good start for Dr. Otten. This is handicap number 1, hole 5. Well, 417 yards over. It's like a forced carry over the canyon. But only fear rating 10 for me. I feel like if I could just get the ball in the air over the canyon in this hole, I've got a chance. Of course, my iron shot from the fairway missed the green by a little bit, and my chip came up short. So Had to settle for bogey here. You're looking back, I think that's to the north, kind of back toward the hills there. This is a different angle though. This is a par putt on number 6. 355 yards, fear rating 16. This one's just a little bit shorter than the other par 4s on the course, or at least the ones so far. However, I did not hit the green in regulation. Now I've got a long putt for par again. But I made that one. I don't know if you could see that, but it actually went in the hole. So I'm sitting at +2 through 6 holes. That's a good start for me. So I'm sweating a bit, but I'm also trying to enjoy the relaxation of being by myself out here with just the tripod and me. Par 3 here. Last time I played this hole, I went way off to the right and totally bungled it. Today, I hit a 5-wood off the tee there, and it was too much club. I almost went over the green. But luckily there's a hill back there that stopped it from going into the nice looking shrubbery and trees back there. So chipping up, trying to earn another up and down here. I'm doing better on this hole than I did last time, I know that much. Certain memories stand out more than others. Oh, okay, missed the putt though. All right, this is where I started to get myself into trouble. Hole number 8, nothing particularly special about this hole in terms of fear rating 12. But I went out of bounds to the left on this hole. So now I'm trying to collect myself because I've got a bogey putt from the fringe. And so I'm there's a strong chance that I will make my first double bogey here of the day. Hit a good putt though. Hit a good putt. Oh. Okay, it was indeed a double bogey. And I'm calling a timeout. Actually, at this specific view, this is looking back at the 9th tee box. I am invoking a head basketball coach or a football coach who would call a timeout. And you can't always do this on the golf course or for any length of time, really, because you've got to keep up with the people ahead of you. But on this day, I didn't have anybody ahead of me. And I didn't have anybody behind me, although what happened was while I was playing the 8th hole, I noticed a twosome behind me. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to pause. I'm going to do a little sports psychology with myself and try to not have one double bogey turn into another, especially because hole number 9 is fear rating 1, and I hit the ball out of bounds last year at hole number 9. So I'm going to let the twosome play through. Well, it turned out I let them play through, and then there was a single behind them, and I let him play through too. I didn't have to, but I was taking my time out. I was having a snack. I hadn't really had a break of any length of time before that because I was going in rhythm from one hole to the next. So I was trying to break that rhythm in a good way. And I was trying to game plan for the 9th hole, but I was also just trying to take a moment to enjoy to enjoy the moment, the opportunity to be out there, and remember to have a lot of gratitude for the opportunity. So just thinking positive overall. And the point, I mean, if we're talking, this is a sports psychology interlude talking about the purpose of a timeout. The purpose of a timeout typically is to stop the momentum, and it's taken by the coach who is on the wrong end of that momentum. The other team is doing well, so the coach is saying, hold on, timeout, we got to stop them from like having one good thought turn into another. And in this case, I'm trying to stop the golf course from piling up the difficulty for me. And so let's see how it turned out. Okay, so the 9th hole, like I said, fear rating 1. Last time I hit the ball off to the right, thinking it was safe, and it went out of bounds. So I knew that. And I was just coming off a little break there, so it was a nice fluid swing off the tee. Okay, middle of the fairway. However, I'm not going to show you the shot that I hit next, but I ended up in the left side bunker, and there's a gigantic bunker on this hole. And then I went from bunker to bunker. So like I hit out of the bunker and stayed in the bunker. But I had enough distance off the tee that this bunker shot was still for birdie, and I hit a good one there. So the first bunker shot was not good. Second bunker shot was good. So I'm giving myself a chance to kind of climb out of the difficulty here, especially on fear rating number 1. Decent lag putt there. But this right here is where I let my doubts get into my head again. I was like, uh-oh, if I miss this short putt, it's the second straight double bogey. Don't do it. And I did it. I missed it. Even Dr. Otten lets those thoughts in, and I let them in times of doubt or fear. And that was what that was. All right, well, let's talk about the back 9 here first. That is before I talk more about me trying to get out of this rough patch on the golf course. See, I'm human too. That's why I make these videos, is to show you what it's really like out there. All right, so the back 9, like I said, I mean, fun rating number 1, hole 17. Fun rating number 2, hole 11. Fun rating number 3, hole 13. So for me, the back 9 stands out a little bit just in the visuals. We're going to be playing a little bit more up and down off of tee boxes that are elevated and hitting into the wilderness, it feels like. So lots to look forward to on the back 9 if I can just figure out my swing or figure out how to get out of this little rough patch. All right, so hole number 10, we've got this elevated tee box, par 3, 198 yards. I've got a 5-wood, and I don't realize that this 5-wood is too much club. And I just completely pulled this one way off into the bushes. So then now I'm hitting another ball. This technically is now shot number 3, right, with the penalty stroke. And this one was actually a decent shot for what it was, but it was just way too much club, and it went into the bushes a second time. So 2 balls out of bounds. Now I'm playing my 5th shot on a par 3. For me, what I do, I'm a 8 handicap right now, so anytime I make triple bogey or worse, I just give myself a triple bogey, which I think is what the SCGA does for me on the scorecard if I put anything more than a triple bogey down. So that's my compromise. So I didn't even finish this hole because I was like, you know what? It's going to be a triple bogey or worse. And so now the rough patch has just, I mean, double bogey. I was 2 over par, right, through 7 holes. And then I went double, double, triple. So now that was 7 over par in 3 holes. Man. And if I was trying to set like an outcome goal before the round, these days I try to break 80, and that 7 over par, I can't go more than 7 over par the whole round if I break 80. So like that was just a crusher, those 3 holes. Why? Well, first of all, it's just golf. Like sometimes you lose your swing. I lost my swing on that shot, that first tee shot on the 10th hole. My second tee shot was actually not bad. I just chose the wrong club. So it was poor decision making on top of losing my swing for a minute. On the going back to the 8th hole, I lost my swing on a shot to hit it out of bounds. It happens, you know. I guess the pros, when they lose their swing, they miss by 10 yards, and I miss instead by 40 yards. So, you know, I'm just human in that way, an amateur golfer. And then on the 9th hole, I missed a short putt because it was in my head that I might make a second straight double bogey. And that feeling of it being in my head probably carried over to my first tee shot on the 10th hole. Did it carry into my poor decision to hit 5-wood there? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I just miscalculated with the elevated tee and everything. Okay, so let's talk about solutions. What happens if you hit a rough patch like this? Well, what I did was, for the following round after Dove Canyon, I set a goal to not prevent double bogeys. I mean, that's always a goal for me. But given that they happen sometimes, they have to happen sometimes, I set a goal to really respond the best I could to after the double bogey. And so that's when I called the timeout in this particular round. And it didn't really work. But that's the right idea, is to pause, is to reframe the situation as best you can. No, this is not a threat, this situation. It's an opportunity to respond well to adversity. And, you know, if you're a human being golfer, you have made a double bogey before. So this is common. It's something to plan for, to game plan for. Not necessarily to prevent them from happening at all, although that would be great. It would be more like, what happens next? How am I going to respond? How can I turn this into an opportunity? And if I make par on the hole after a double bogey or worse, that might be the best hole of the day. That might be the achievement of the day, that I can go home tonight and think about how cool it was that I made par or even just had a good hole, decent hole, after the double bogey or the triple bogey, because that is the hardest hole to play on the golf course. Okay, so I did respond well, finally. Oh, hole number 11, green in regulation, birdie putt here. And this hole, fun rating too. I mean, this hole is where I saw the deer last time I was here. Just narrowly missed that birdie putt. It's a really nice looking hole, par 5 there. Maybe it inspired me to finally get out of my rut there, my rough patch. Okay, hole number 12, I've got another green in regulation. So I'm starting to finally play like myself again. I did 3-putt this green. However, you're not going to, unfortunately, you're not going to see it though, because I had a camera malfunction. So first, my golf swing malfunctioned, and now the camera has malfunctioned for just a couple of shots here. Also, the hole 13 tee shot, fun rating 3. Look at that view. It was a nice view, but I didn't get much footage of it. Fixed the camera situation. Also, another green in regulation here. Hole number 13, par 3. So, okay, camera's fixed. My golf swing is maybe fixed. I mean, I lost my swing for a minute. I lost my putting stroke, and I lost my club selection decision on number 10 was poor. So decision making. So, yeah, it happens, you know, in golf. You just got to try to do those things I talked about and not throw your clubs, but get over it. Get through it as best you can. And hopefully, this will be another par here for me on 13. Hopefully. Okay, it's in. All right. So, playing more or less like myself again, like I said. Although I did, on this 14th hole, another par 5, fear rating 4. This one has a couple of fairway bunkers, out of bounds on the right, and I did hit it out of bounds with my second shot. But luckily, I made a pretty nice recovery shot here, and I still have a par putt. Oof. Nothing easy at Dove Canyon. Okay, so that's a bogey. I'll take a bogey. If I hit the ball out of bounds and manage to save bogey, I guess I'll take it. All right, just at the edge of the green now, hole number 15. This one maybe doesn't stand out quite as much as some of the other holes in the back nine to me. So I'm on the edge of the green here with a birdie putt of considerable length, and this is a faraway view. Nice view with the tree branches there, but you might not have been able to detect that my putt went about 8, maybe even 10 feet past the hole, making it a very difficult task here for me to pull out a 2-putt. So I think my putter is still a little bit cold, and I missed that one. Yeah. Hole number 16, did not want to go into this bunker. By the way, I had made it a goal today to hit away from the bunkers as much as I could, because last time I was here, I went into a lot of bunkers. This, however, was a fantastic bunker shot. Might have been the shot of the day for me. So I will take that. So the only bunker shots I'm showing you today are the ones that I actually hit very well. It's a contrast to my San Vicente Golf Resort video from earlier in the summer, San Diego County. Ooh, my bunker performance that day was horrendous. Okay. I saved par there. That was a nice up and down from the bunker, 16. 17th hole, fun rating 1, huge elevation drop. Last time I was at this hole, my friend who I was with almost made a hole-in-one, came within a couple inches. Good memories. I was looking forward to playing this hole again. And just hitting a knockdown, a light 8-iron here. And you just see the ball fall, just dropping forever in this hole. Managed to hit the green. Yeah, and this is looking back up toward the tee box there. Just a nice sweeping view from the tee, but also kind of a fun spot here too, to be down kind of below and in the canyon. All right, so my putter had gone pretty cold, maybe holes 9 through 16 there. So I'm just trying to 2-putt this one, and this one has a big ridge. This green has a ridge in the middle here. I'm on top of the ridge, so I just have to poke it lightly and let it roll down. And I got the speed right. I'm excited to make par here, that's for sure, because that is a picturesque par 3, hole 17. Okay. So some achievements here on the back nine, especially the one where I recovered from that just stinky hole 9, 10, 11 stretch there. I guess it was 8, 9, 10. That was the struggle. Okay, so hole 18 here, also a really fun hole with the waterfall behind the green and the water on the right side there, kind of cutting off the fairway. I hit 3-wood and I left myself some work. So I actually hit 2 3-woods in a row, which I probably could have hit driver off the tee and saved myself some work with that second shot. But really nice visuals again. Fun rating 6, fear rating 3 because of all the water on the right side and out of bounds to the left. So a great finishing hole. Dove Canyon. It's a pretty good chip, leaving me a makeable putt for par, which would be nice. This would be for an 84 if I were to make it. So despite that rough patch, I'm still on track to beat my last round. Last year I shot an 88. If not for that rough patch, it would have been a great day. But you know, that's golf. Just barely missed that putt. Had to settle for bogey. 85. Okay. All right. Well, so that's your Round 2 at Dove Canyon, 85 last year, 88 last year, 85 this year, maybe next year 82, we'll see. So today's lesson, if there is one, is just how to get through a tough stretch of holes, how to recover from a bad hole, or in this case, 3 bad holes in a row. And again, reframing the situation as a challenge instead of as like, oh no, I'm about to do this again. It's a challenge to appraise it that way in itself, right? Because you're like, man, I just hit a couple of bad shots. I stink at golf. But if you can really reward yourself for just having a decent hole instead of a bad one after you've made double or triple bogey, that's the reward. So look forward to the opportunity, if you can, to have a bad hole and then respond to it afterwards with recovery. Respond well to adversity in that way. That's the goal, which I eventually did on this hole, on this golf course. Anyway, thanks again to Gabe for bringing me out to Dove Canyon for round 2. I'm lucky that they let me do it, and I hope you get a chance to play this golf course, or if you're thinking about becoming a member, do it. It's worth it. Yeah, that's the report for today. Like, subscribe, do as you wish, and I'll see you in the next one.